So this was a hard review to make for me. 1, because this is my first video review ever. 2, I was unsure how to properly review this game as a newcomer to the Ninja Gaiden franchise. And 3, not trying to sound stupid and ignorant to the hardcore fans of the series. As a newcomer, I just ended up saying F it, and accepting that I probably will sound stupid and ignorant to the hardcore fans, and decided to make this review anyways, with the perspective of a new player to the series. And I'm not gonna lie, this game was a roller coaster of emotions for me. A love-hate relationship, if you will. Now after beating it on hard mode, overall, I thought it was a good game, with some things holding it back from making me truly fall in love with it. Before I begin the review, I ask you to do everything the algorithm likes if you enjoy the video. I would really appreciate it. Now without further ado, this is my Ninja Gaiden 2 Black review. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is another installment to the character action cult classic Ninja Gaiden franchise. The series is infamous for its incredible difficulty and fast, gruesome hack and slash gameplay. I've never played a Ninja Gaiden game before and was keen on playing this as I've been getting interested into the character action genre after recently beating the first 2 Bayonettas, which are amazing by the way, and Final Fantasy 16. After being bombarded with Souls-likes for so long, it's nice to see the hack and slash genre making a comeback with games like FF16, Stellar Blade, and the upcoming Ninja Gaiden 4, Lost Soul Aside, and Tides of Annihilation. It's all very exciting to me. And that's not me dissing the Souls-likes, by the way. I do enjoy them myself, but they have dominated the gaming scene for a little too long now. But I digress. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is an interesting case with how it was made. It's using Unreal Engine 5 to render the visuals, but under the hood, it's using the bones of Ninja Gaiden 2 Sigma. This is kinda hard to explain as I have no game dev experience, but imagine Ninja Gaiden 2 Sigma running with no visuals and Ninja Gaiden 2 Black taking all the info and displaying it in UE5. There is a good X thread explaining it all, which will be in the description below if you want to learn more about it. The visuals in this game are pretty good. I won't go overboard like many other people are on about the graphics, but it does look good, especially compared to the OG Ninja Gaiden 2. The character models look immensely better, and in more ways than one. Oh, and then Ryu comes in. Damn, those jiggles! Ryu looks more badass than ever, and I was really impressed with how his model turned out. Granted, I'm a new player, like I said, but I took the courtesy of downloading the Master Collection for some comparisons, and yeah, Team Ninja did a great job with UE5 in this game. The level design is your run-of-the-mill hack and slash level design. Clear one area, move on to the next. The most exploration you're going to get from this game is finding smaller second paths to find items like health, ninpo charges, and max health upgrades, and some collectibles. What did surprise me, however, were how beautiful and diverse the art direction was in some of these levels. From the pleasant jungle greenery in Chapter 2, to the cyberpunk-esque neon city lights in Chapter 3, and the beautiful Venice-inspired City of Water in Chapter 6. I really enjoyed looking at and playing in these environments, something I wasn't expecting from this kind of game. Unreal Engine 5 really reveals the true visual potential this game has to offer. One of my favorite areas of the game was the end of Chapter 6 and at the beginning of Chapter 7. Ethereal blue waters topped by ancient Greek temples and ruins. It was so beautiful to me. It was the first time I had to really pause and take in the scenery I got from it. Very aesthetically pleasing. The lighting is another added benefit this game has received due to Unreal Engine 5. The difference between 2 Black and 2 Sigma is literally night and day. The lighting makes the levels pop and immersive, elevating it over any other ordinary action game. With that being said, it's not all sunshine and rainbows under the UE5 heavens. While looking great, the stability and performance of this was kind of shoddy. Multiple reports of instability and input delay were reported by many gamers on Reddit and throughout the gaming web. I myself can attest to this. I would experience moments of what seemed like a smooth experience to quickly feeling like I was playing at 20 FPS.
Oh my gosh, this frame rate! What are we doing here?
During the writing of this review, Team Ninja actually already released a patch that fixed the stability issues, especially when playing at 120 FPS. I can confirm that the patch did indeed make the game feel smoother after trying it out. However, it didn't fix everything, which leads to my most problematic issue I had with this game, and that was the input delay. After booting it up for the very first time, the very first words that came out of my mouth were, "Oh, this feels bad," spoken in utter shock.
It's not 1-to-1. You literally have to fucking go slow. So you have to literally slow down every movement, every button input.
Going into this game, I was expecting some of the best feeling movement and control systems in all of video games, but what I got was a frustrating, unresponsive input feedback. Now you might say this is how the game is designed, and you have to adapt to it. That's fair, but for a game to be fully enjoyable to me, the character has to move as close as it can to my inputs. Simple tasks such as jumping in a direction I wanted, running on walls, and platforming were more often than not rage-inducing experiences for me. So much so, I would do so well in climbing up a tall platform, killing all the enemies in the way, only to commit an action I didn't want to do and come crashing all the way back down and rage quitting for the day.
Time to call it.
It just doesn't feel good and responsive to move around and do basic tasks, which is a huge thing for me in video gaming. And like I said, it's not just me. Many people on gaming forums are having similar issues. People have said the OG Ninja Gaiden 2 was a lot more responsive, and as I don't have a way to properly play the OG version, I haven't been able to check it out for myself, but I did download the Master Collection, and Gaiden 2 Sigma did feel better on that version to me. Given that, the game does feel a little better after the patch, but I wouldn't say it's all the way to my liking yet. I understand the notion that this is not a button mashing game, and that I have to be more methodical and do proper combos. If that's truly the case, I still wouldn't enjoy it as much as a fast and responsive game. If simple tasks like easy jumps, easy wall runs, and easy platforming are being consistently missed, I think it's fair for me to mention them. Another weakness of the game definitely has to be the boss fights. Not only are there a lot of repeats, but they weren't that exciting either. A great example would be the giant robotic centipede fish in Chapter 3, which essentially just swam around the level the whole time as you spam it with arrow attacks. There were, however, some cool ones like the Archfiend, which you fought at the end of the game. But overall, I think the boss fights are definitely one of the weaker parts of the game. Now going into the combat and mechanics in this game are very in-depth and very fun once you learn the game. Like many newbies starting out, I wasn't having very much fun as I had no idea how these games are played and the approach in which I'm supposed to take them. But by the time I was through half the game in hard mode, things started to click and I was enjoying myself a lot more with it. What I appreciate about Ninja Gaiden is that it forces you to learn all of the mechanics if you want to succeed, especially on Master Ninja, as I am on Chapter 3 as of right now writing this review. You must block to prevent damage, you must wind run and stun enemies for crowd control, you must throw shurikens to interrupt enemy attacks, you must use your ultimate for high damage and invincibility frames. Every move and mechanic has a purpose, and it's up to you to take full advantage of them to beat the game. There's also a long list of combos. The more you level up your weapon, the more combos it unlocks, furthering your skills and moves to complete the game. Admittedly, having 40 hours in the game, I still don't have a complete grasp of the mechanics and combos. I think this goes to show the amount of depth and time it takes to really realize the full potential of this game. Add to the fact that there's 9 weapons in the game, all with their own pros and cons, best use and worst use scenarios. The Vigarian Flare is fast and great for cutting off limbs quickly, while also being the best weapon to use against the infamous Ghost Fish. The Lunar Staff has a great ultimate and great AoE so you can hit multiple enemies at once. The Enma's Fang is a giant greatsword that does heavy damage. Every weapon has its own unique playstyle and adds to the dynamic of the game that keeps it fresh. And when a weapon isn't working out for you at the time, switch weapons. There's also a quick God mode mechanic called the Ninpos. They are different overpowered skills that can get you out of a pinch. My favorite is the Art of the Piercing Void. This Ninpo fires a huge black hole that can penetrate through multiple enemies before dissipating. It's the highest damage Ninpo in the game and it's fucking awesome. There's a famous saying about the Ninja Gaiden games in which I'm sure you've heard of. In other games, you're trying to kill the enemies. In Ninja Gaiden, the enemies are trying to kill you. And this statement couldn't be more true. The enemy AI is truly some of the best I've seen in a game before. Never have I ever seen a game where you actually feel like the AI are bloodthirsty savages on the sole mission to do whatever it takes to kill you. Have you ever played a game where the enemies have both legs chopped off and they still find a way to kill you? I have. And not only that, the enemies show no remorse by killing you in some of the most gruesome ways I've ever seen in a game before.
Okay, there's one death.
The blood and gore in this game is absolutely outstanding and a huge improvement over the older Ninja Gaiden 2 versions of the game. Last and least is the story of the game. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really pay much attention to the story to this game as I play these games for the gameplay, as does everyone else. If you don't, you're weird. Essentially, Ryu is called to stop the villainous Archfiend, as I mentioned before, which is called by a rival ninja clan. You're not going to get Naughty Dog levels of storytelling and presentation here. In conclusion, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is an overall good game with a lot of great qualities such as an in-depth combat system, fun mechanics, and beautiful art design. Unfortunately, its input delay and jank prevented me to fully enjoy the game to its fullest potential. So, I am giving Ninja Gaiden 2 Black a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Thanks for watching, make sure you like and subscribe, and tell me in the comments if you want to see more reviews. This was my first one and I actually really enjoyed it. Alright, have a good one guys, later.